Hey, what's up guys, we're back again, and today we're going to be talking about a couple up-and-coming artists from the Arizona scene. First of all, we got Tonejustdied, which maybe you've heard of before. He actually has done some big-time shows with people like Zarkon, so he's making noise within the trap metal space. And he's managed to form up a group of people that will perform with him. You got people like Young Brashtag, you got a boy Blaine, and one of them is known as Bukes. And what happened recently is Tonejustdied started to call Beauxx out, and he was accusing him of being something pretty bad. Now, this kid is only about 18, 19 years old, so I'm wondering what he's actually doing. Is he creeping on little kids? Is he maybe, R-wording people? He must be doing something really bad because Tonejustdied ended up posting a bunch of stories talking shit on him. I'll read them out here. He said, "Hey, I got something special dropping tonight. Just a little something before the real drop this Friday. Your favorite monster at 5 p.m. since I'm everything you want to be. We ain't going for numbers on this drop, so it's going to be on SoundCloud only. Just getting a point across, and if you want to listen to it, go ahead. But this is meant for an individual who really needs to learn their place and stop being an entitled, pathological liar and literally crying for opportunities. If you know, you know, but we're not going to give this little guy any clout. You got 5 hours to explain yourself." And then we got a bunch of screenshots saying, "I'm sorry, I'm going to get better, but can you keep this a secret, please? I need to get better because I know what I did was wrong. If you ever run into me, just ignore me because I want you to feel safe. I'm uncomfortable to be around you. I don't think I can ever do that again. I don't think you realize that was assault. Ask and I never gave you any permission." But also, like, he was literally trying to get my pants and I didn't say that was okay, and he didn't ask, and he said suck my dick. I had to say no like 4 times, and he would say are you sure, and like threw my hand on his crotch when he was kissing me. So of course those screenshots look terrible. Something is definitely going wrong here. And who is he talking about? Well, he's actually talking about a boy Beauxx. And then he goes on to say lies, 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 you're not safe, you are not safe, you are not safe, and so on and so on. Now, I'm not sure what Beauxx did to piss Tone off. He does talk about it in his story, basically saying that he tried to go at Tone as well. I tried to reach out to Beauxx to see what he did to piss him off, but he didn't answer me because right now he's really in his feelings. But then Tone goes on to say, "Not asking anyone to pick sides, that's on y'all. If you want to someone who sexually assaults women and then tries to flip the situation and lie about it publicly, do what you want to do. I just know how to move with you then." And then finally he says believe the victim. So once again, we don't really know what's going on. I'm about to show you the messages where the victim herself explains exactly what Beauxx did to her, but I do want to say he's laying it on very thick because first of all, he's not giving any evidence of anything. He's using out of context screenshots to try to show that he's as bad as possible. I'm not saying he's not bad, we don't know yet, but I'm just saying that this is kind of sketchy. These are some pretty serious allegations to put on a kid who's just starting off in life, and oftentimes in the underground, nobody actually checks what's going on or tries to, like double confirm and see if the person actually did what everybody's accusing them of. So I just want to actually see what she has to say.
Well, basically, how he's saying it is that he wanted to meet up so he can show his song to me, and then I was smiling and then he kissed me. That's not what happened. We got into a big fight at the show, and he called me and we were arguing, and I apologized for making a scene because I did. And what's it called? And then while we were talking on the phone, he's like, "I'm gonna pick you up." And I was like, okay. Immediately when I get in the car, he kisses me. Absolutely no warning. Didn't ask me. I didn't give him permission. And after he kissed me, I was like, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "I don't know, you tell me." And I was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Just drive." And so we go get Cane's, and while we're driving there, he's like, "Do you want to hear my album?" And I'm like, "Sure." And he's showing me the songs. And while we're in the line, he shows me the song that he made for me, and I don't really say anything. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's nice." And that's about it. And then we get our food and we're sitting in the parking lot, and he kisses me again. And after that, I'm like, I'm really uncomfortable with this. I don't really want to do this. He's saying it's because I feel guilty because it was my ex's birthday or whatever. No, I feel guilty because I didn't get a chance to say no, really. And I feel guilty because I kissed him back, but also kissing him back isn't really, it's not really a yes. And I was in shock. I mean, I didn't really know what else to do. But after that, I was like, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't want to do this. I feel guilty. And he's like, okay, just forget about it. And I was like, okay. And then we go to this like airport parking lot or whatever to watch the planes or whatever. And he does it again, and he's kissing me and like touching my body or whatever. And doesn't ask for permission again, you know, and I didn't say yes. And as he's like kissing me, he like puts his hand on his, no, at first he's kissing me and he's like, suck my dick. And I'm like, no. And he's like pulling his pants down and he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, no. I'd like, no. And he's like pulling it back up and then like doing the same stuff and like touching me and like, is like trying to take my shirt off and I'm like putting it back on and he's like, no, Issa, no. And like as he's kissing me more, I'm like pushing him off a little bit, like 3 times, like trying to push him off, and he just keeps like trying to go in to kiss me and he's like, no, Issa, more, no, Issa, more. And then after that I feel like fully push him off and I'm like, no. How many times did I have to tell you how uncomfortable I am with this, that I didn't want this? You didn't ask to do any of this. You didn't ask to touch me. You didn't ask to pull down my shirt or whatever. Like, you didn't ask if it was okay to pull down your pants. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry. Like, I need to get better or whatever. And I'm like, no, you didn't. This is wrong. And like, as he's taking me home, because I was like, okay, I need to go. And like, as he's taking me home, he's like, do you promise to keep this a secret? Like, you have to keep this a secret. Do you promise? Of course I'm not going to keep this a secret. He doesn't get to just do this without any consequences. But also, let me remind you, like, this was so like shocking and weird because a few times like we would meet up to talk things out in person, right? And he wouldn't be like this at all because he knew my boundaries. He knew I didn't want to have a relationship with him. He asked before for like a sexual stuff and I said no. And he was never like this with those times. He wouldn't even look at me. He was pretty rude. Yeah, so this was a shocker, like, how he was doing that and how, like, he was all lovey and stuff. And he said it was because he was moving in 3 weeks, but dude, I never agreed to this, and it doesn't give him an excuse.
So there you have it, the entire situation. Basically, her and Beauxx got into a fight. They ended up going to a chicken place. They started kissing. Apparently, she didn't agree to kissing him, and then he tried to touch her boob and tried to take his pants off. So keep in mind, I'm not trying to take sides here. I don't actually know any of these people. I did interview a few of the people from the morgue. I've never talked to Tonejustdied, so if I'm missing any information, definitely let me know. But with the information I have right now, this really doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I know it's shocking. I know a lot of people are going to try to make this seem like assault, but this kid is only young. I'm not trying to harp on that, but do you remember when you were 18 years old? Like, it's kind of awkward to be with a girl for the first time, and yes, he probably was a little bit too forceful, but it wasn't like he was trying to hold her down or do anything like that. When she says no, he definitely needs to stop, but that's something that he needs to learn. Maybe his boundaries just aren't there yet, but they're trying to make it seem like he's really a sex degenerate, and if you see his stories that I'm about to show you, he's really feeling like he's got a problem, like he's a or something. This is actually his ex-girlfriend, and I guess he kind of felt awkward after the fight went down at the show. She's probably still mad at him, and then after that he was trying to kiss her. He was being a little bit awkward, but he wasn't forcing her down or like, you know, hold her down or anything like that. Like I said, I wasn't there. I'm only taking the information I have so far, but it seems like she's really mad at him and he's feeling guilty because a lot of people around him are trying to paint him out to feel as guilty as possible. You made a mistake. You kissed somebody when they didn't want it. You didn't listen to no a couple times. You didn't do the worst thing thing ever. I don't think this kid needs to be canceled and have his entire life destroyed for no reason. Relationship drama happens, and with the internet and everything involved, it can get really bad, but I actually feel really bad for this kid because he's on his story talking about how his life is over and he needs professional help and everything, but like, it's not that serious. Just learn from the situation. But when it comes to the girl, I know you probably feel like you were put in an uncomfortable situation, which you definitely were, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take anything away from that. And I know you're probably upset at the dude because he did something bad in your relationship, but at the end of the day, you're both very young. This isn't really going to matter in 5 years, and you putting those types of accusations on him could legitimately cost him jobs in the future. It could cost him his entire rap career, which isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it's not a huge thing, but you're not just affecting the boy Beauxx online, you're actually affecting the kid behind that as well, and you're making him feel like he's a piece of shit when really he didn't do anything that severe. If every single kid who awkwardly kissed a girl in a car was put in prison for that, then almost everybody would be in prison. I mean, he's a young kid, he needs to learn his boundaries, he needs to learn how to do things, and after this, he's probably never going to be able to be intimate with a girl again because he's going to feel like a monster if he tries to kiss her and doesn't ask beforehand. Most people don't say, hey, can I kiss you, and then kiss you. I mean, this isn't some weird woke politics type of shit. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just not that big of a situation. But anyways, I'm going to show you his stories here.
I'm just going to say this. The heart makes you do stupid things. Very stupid things. It was really wrong of me for what I did, you know, kissing her, and, you know, she was my ex-girlfriend and stuff, and I showed her this song called Heart because it came from my heart, and, it breaks me because, like, I really am sorry for everything, and she has every right to be mad because I used to be very mean to her. Like, I would, like, say mean things, like, trying to think of an example. Like, I would say her fit was basic, and it was very wrong of me. I was, like, in a very wrong mindset when I was with her during the time, and I'd be very, you know, it was very stupid, and I want to get better, and I would like some help to get better because it's going to be hard to do this on my own, you know, and I still want to pursue my dreams, so I would like some help, please. I'm very sorry for all of us having to come to you guys. It's, you know, me doing that, like, there's consequences, you know, me kissing her, doing stuff without consent, like kissing her, and she may have kissed me back, but doesn't matter. It's still assault, you know, still assault, and I did ask for one more kiss, and she said no, but, my heart was just playing games with me, so I kissed her one more time. And yeah, it was nothing to try to hurt her. It was all out of love. And love could play crazy games. And I'm sorry, but I cannot be talking to anyone unless you're trying to help me.
And as you can see, he's very distraught about the entire situation. I'm not trying to paint him as a victim because definitely he did something kind of wrong, but Tone, you're definitely setting a precedent for the entire underground community that cannot be withheld. Like, Tone is basically putting himself in a situation where any ex-girlfriend of his could come out and say he kissed me without my consent, and then somebody else could take the screenshots of that, put that on their story and say this guy's a assault her, because that's basically what he's doing. I'm not exactly sure how old Tone is, but he's doing this to a teenager and he has kids of his own, so I feel like it's very malicious. I'm not really sure what your beef is, but you shouldn't take it to this level because you're gonna destroy his entire life. Like, she's upset about the relationship and she's basically being reinforced by you to actually think that something terrible went down when what she's saying is not actually that terrible. And yes, I know that Beauxx said please don't tell anybody, but that is by no means proof that he actually did something terrible. I mean, if you go to a girl's house and then come in your pants, you're probably going to tell her don't tell anybody about that. It doesn't mean you did a sex crime, it just means you're embarrassed about the situation. But yeah, this entire situation has been blown out of proportion. Everybody's been talking about it for the last few days, and to me it's ridiculous because people still defend Young Rare to this day when he literally was with underage girls. But one kid accidentally kisses a girl when she doesn't like it and all of a sudden he's canceled. Yeah, is this really the standards we're gonna have in the trap metal community? To me, that's ridiculous. But yeah, what do you think about this situation? Do you think Beauxx is actually a terrible guy? Do you think this is actually a situation where he did something really bad? Am I missing context? Definitely let me know. Initially, I wasn't gonna talk about this because I feel like it's a very touchy subject, but after I seen Beauxx's story, I felt bad for the guy. I'm like, damn, this kid is really feeling like he's a monster at this point and nobody's on his side. So you know what? I wanted to talk about it, try to put him in a bit of a better light. But yeah, that's the entire situation. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one and definitely want to hear your opinions. But besides that, see you in the next one. Peace.